Okay, this little video is about the laws of indices, and I'm going to be concentrating on the first law, which is looking at multiplication of algebraic terms when we have indices involved and what we need to do. So to remind ourselves that I'm going to call this law 1, okay, and this is the multiplication law. Okay, so let's look at some examples and see what we mean by this. Okay, so of course example 1. Now remember, the big part is called the base and the little number is called the index or power. Remember, indices is just a posh word for powers. Now if I was going to multiply a squared by a cubed, okay, the base is the same, so I can multiply them together, and this is when I would use this multiplication law, this first law of indices. Okay, and what we need to think about first is what this actually means. So let's break this apart and expand that. Now a squared, you should remember, means a times a, and then we've got another times sign there, which I'll put in the middle, and a cubed, we're going to expand that as well, means a times a times a. Now if you look, how many a's have we got all multiplied together? We've got 5, so of course that is a to the power 5. Okay, now what we notice is that if we add our two powers, we get the power for our answer. So we could have simply just said, and this is the first law, we could have simply just said a squared times a cubed equals a squared plus the 3, which equals a to the power 5. Okay, so that is our first multiplication law, but the understanding behind adding the two powers comes from expanding what a squared and what a cubed means, like we did here, and we can see then that we get a to the power 5, and it's from doing that that you notice, oh, I could just add up the powers. Okay, so you don't have to expand this every time you do these questions, but it's there if you forget what to do with the two powers. Just remember, oh, I can't remember, you know, do I add them, do I take them away? Well, let's write it out in full like we have here and see what I get, and then you'll probably remember. So this is so you have a bit better understanding of what's going on, rather than me just telling you if you multiply two terms with the same base, add the powers. Okay, if I just told you that, that wouldn't be enough. We always got to have some understanding behind why this law works. Let's look at one more example. So this video will have two examples for you. Let's try another one. Let's try x to the 7. We're going to multiply this by x to the minus 2. Okay, now if we're going to use our law, which is adding the powers, then what we've got x to the power 7 plus the other power, which is minus 2. Now you should know, and you should remember, that if we add a negative, it is just the same as taking away. So a plus and a minus next to each other is the same as just a minus, a subtraction. And then we get, oh sorry, I'm going to change that a second. There we go. So we all make mistakes sometimes, and I didn't mean to put it there. So that equals x to the 5 as well. So when you add 7 and minus 2, you get 5. So as a general law, for this multiplication, if we have x to the a times x to the b, so x is the same, the base is the same, a and b can be any powers, can be any numbers, okay, then what we need to do then with a and b is add them up, and that is the general law from the first laws of indices when you multiply two terms together and the base is the same. Now there's going to be a follow-up video to this when we have a number in front of our letter as well as the letter with a power. Okay, that'll be the follow-up video to this. Okay, thank you very much.